A little over a year ago, I started drag. Let's be real, I look like a boy in a wig. But now, a year later, I look like a diva. Come with me as I talk to you about what I improved, what I did in just over a year. Okay, so I'm gonna scroll back on my Instagram and I'm going to include photos that I'm going to be using as reference all around me. So, one here, maybe two more down here. Don't know really. And I'm going to be looking at these because, not gonna lie, I can't remember exactly what I did, so I'm gonna use these as like a kind of like a reference because I can remember a little bit, not all of it though. So yeah, I'm gonna do a side by side comparison. So I'm thinking this side of my face be a year ago, this side how I do it now, and we'll see the improvement on the same face at the same time, and I'm going to talk you through all of the steps that I did and what I used to do, what I do now, and how it's different. Okay, so the very first step of my whole makeup process when I started and now would be to go in with a trusty purple Elmer's glue stick. So, I think the lid's stuck. So I think the only like fair thing to do would be to block my brows how I used to. So I'm just gonna, because I'm doing this how I used to do it, I'm just gonna like brush it on and like push it with the glue stick to make sure that everything is coated. As you can see, it's very dark purple. It is quite flat now, but we're gonna see that could have been the downfall. But for how I currently do it, I'm gonna go in, like really get the glue in the hair. So it's a little bit messy now, but I'm going to grab my finger and just run it through and just brush everything flat. And then, when it's dry, I'm going to do that again, which I'll show you. And then, because it's the main thing to help them become lighter, I'm going to go in with a Revolution Translucent Setting Powder. So we're going to go back over my brows really quick. So this one, just flattening it all out, basically just covering it, to be honest. As you can see, it's building the layers on top. I am going to get rid of that like thick like clump. This one, gonna go back in, try and coat all of the hairs, get it right in there, and then just flatten it all out. Right, so I opened my Revolution setting powder. So now that the glue is completely dry on my face, I'm just going to take some on a powder puff and just really like press it in. This is going to help like the eyebrow disappear, which you can already see it's basically gone. So I'm just going to keep going with both like side. Then while I'm doing that, I'm gonna go and find my primer because that is what I like to do next. I did manage to find my old primer, and not gonna lie, I think it's full. It feels heavy, so this should be interesting. But I'm going to just like brush. As you can see, it's kind of gone. So definitely, I don't think there's much of a difference. So I'm just going to go in with the Revolution Hydrating Primer. This is what it looked like when I bought it. Don't know how long ago that was. So this is the primer that I use. Little beauty YouTuber moment. God. Okay. I really don't know how much I'm gonna get out, but we're gonna see how it goes. And I'm only gonna try and cover my face, like half of my face, because I'm only doing half how I used to. Damn. Okay. Right. So, now that the old side is primed and ready, I'm going to take my new primer, which is the Revolution Pore Blur Primer. Looks like this. I think it works quite well. Kind of pink, to be honest. So, yeah, it definitely works. Because I don't know if you can see, but my nose is definitely, like, looking a lot smoother. And where this one's, like, shiny, this one's definitely more matte. Which I found a massive improvement, as it just, like, helps. It kind of feels a little bit sticky, but not massively, if that makes sense. Okay, now, that is done. So, because I haven't fully set my eyebrows, I'm going to pop them back. Then I'm going to go in with more setting powder to just try and dry them out. Because the drier they are, the less they'll come through. And I want it to be fair. And my eyebrows used to always get in the way, and that wouldn't be fair because I know how to glue them now. So I'm gonna like try and like make it as fair as possible, so we can really focus on like the makeup techniques, the products, and everything like that. So, now, oh my god, I actually still have it. I think it's empty though, but I can still show you. So this is what I used to use. It's MUA. You're gonna see a lot of MUA. Because I still use it because it's like it's good makeup, but it's also affordable, which is something that is very important when you just start out. So I used to use the MUA Pro Base. I also had a red one. Oh god, I think I mixed them together. Actually, let's see if this works. Oh my god, I don't think it is. It's looking a bit opaque. Oh. Do we think it's gonna work? I'm kind of running out, so this is going in the bin. I'm gonna pop that there. But now, I still use MUA, but I use the blush, because if I just grab a little sponge, you will definitely see that this is more, like, pigmented and just much better in general. So if I... Oh my god, didn't have enough. Right. If I just, like, do that, blend it out a little, you can definitely see the difference. So for the last time, I am just going to set these with the setting powder. Just trying to make them as light as possible so they fade away into my face, which could be good. Which would actually be really good because that's what we're trying to do. So, then I'm going to brush, leave it on for a minute. So, I am just going to leave these for about a second, then brush all the excess off. As you can see, this one is a little bit more noticeable than this one, to be honest. So yeah, now moving on to the base. So moving on to my foundation and like the base of my forehead, because I do my makeup in like half and half, I just find it really easier to manage and keep track of. So I've used the same foundation ever since I started, mainly because it's cheap, affordable. They're basically the same thing, but really good as well. And that is the MUA Pro Base foundation. So what I like to do is get the foundation, put it on a sponge, but if you just like look at that, literally it's basically covered my eyebrow. And yeah, it's actually really good, and it's only like £6. So I'm gonna cover my whole like up, so like here and above, and I'll be back. Okay, sorry if it's a bit of a jump scare, but we're now going to mainly focus on my forehead. So I kind of used to use Collection Liquid Wand Foundation, and I used two different shades. I used a darker shade and a lighter shade. I kind of still do this, but I'll show you in like a sec. So I might as well do it all now. I took the darker shade and just put it all around my forehead and just mainly the edge, because this would help create a little bit more of a shadow. Okay, and then, so that was shade 2, medium. Then, what I also used to do is grab the lighter shade and kind of like go everywhere else. Yeah, and I'll go like everywhere else, just kind of making the shape that I need to. As you can see, it may not stay like that. And then, the last thing that I used to do for my forehead contour, let me just lift the camera up a little bit, is go in with the highlighter, that is liquid highlighter wand. I don't know if this is actually going to work. Oh, that's not even halfway in my face. Okay, right. Yeah, as you can see, it's looking great. So, we are now just going to grab a beauty blender. This is dirty. Don't come for me. And just blend all of that out. I'm only going to blend half because that is what I've done. And as you can see, there's not really any, like, difference, to be honest. So, now, what I do is I grab a contour, the Collection contour stick, looks like this. I found that this works really well. I basically just do the same that I used to, but with a stick, and I found that this like actually like stays on my face, and it like stays, if that makes sense, where that kind of just like disappeared. And then I haven't put any highlighter on the middle, and that is because I don't actually use the highlighter. I don't use this highlighter. I use two different MUA concealers. So I use shade 100, which is quite light, and then 104 to help blend it all together. So if I just show you, I put shade 100 directly in the middle, just brightening up that forehead. Then I put 104 kind of like around it, because this would help bring in the shade and kind of like help it all transition. Then I'm going to go in with the top of the beauty blender and just blend it all in. It has kind of faded. It's like crossed over into the other section. I'm not that mad if it does. And then I am just going to bring back in that line. And then, something that I still do is immediately set the forehead, because I find it really hard to like not crease my forehead, if that makes sense. Like, I'd always like raise my eyebrows and crease my forehead, which would then mess up the contour. So, something that I also think I did quite a lot was overbake the forehead on the old side, so I'm just gonna like kind of lightly blend that all. But what I do now is I get quite a loose brush, tap the excess off so there's not much on it, and then just like go in the middle and just like blend out, which definitely helps keep the contour there. Whereas you can possibly see with the middle, but this side there's kind of no difference, where this side there definitely is. So yeah, this bit's going to be really short because it cut out, but I'm basically done. So I'm going to move over to my eyebrows. Okay, so eyebrows. For the old side, I used to use a trusty black eyeshadow. This is the Revolution Reloaded palette. As you can see, if I just open it up, you can see the black was very used. So, if you can't tell, this was my go-to. And what I used to do, map out the shape of the brow. So, I used to go from the bottom to like, about up here, then down. Going back to the eyebrow, what I used to do was map out the shape, then with like kind of like a flat-ish brush, I used to kind of like fill in the lines. And when I tell you, this never used to be even, it used to look so bad. Like, I thought it was the best thing ever. But it genuinely, I couldn't get them even to save my life. Oh god, this is like giving me trauma. And like, the eyebrow used to be kind of sticky, so it never used to work. And like, it would never be like a flat line. It's going to keep building. To be honest, it has been a while since I've done this. And you'll see why in a sec. So, yeah. This is really hard for me to do. Like, okay, that isn't too bad. But now, I kind of upgraded to a little hack. I've upgraded a little bit to, just going to pop that palette back and the brush. I've upgraded to eyebrow stencils. So these, and something that I found is it definitely helps. So in order to not take the like contour off, I'm going to grab a bit of setting powder and I'm just going to kind of go over the back of them, because this helps make it like really dry. Because I made a mistake of doing this the first time I ever used them. I didn't do it and it like lifted all of my forehead contour. So now that the back has been set, I'm just going to put them on. Ow, god, that hurt. And I'm going to go slightly above my natural brow. As you can see, this is a really big difference. Then I no longer use brown eyeshadow because I use W7 Brow Pomade in dark brown. And I'm going to use the brush that it came with because it's got a nice like angle, if you can see. And I'm just going to pick some of it up and just like swipe onto the brow, or in the stencil to be honest. Kind of like filling it in. I'm going to do this off camera because it'll be quite boring for you to watch. So I'm going to do it, come back, and we'll talk about it. Right, so this brow is now done. I know what we're going to see. And I think that the eyebrows were the main part of my evolution. Can you see the difference? Like, it's actually shocking. Like, ever since I used these, I got more space in the eye. This eyebrow's not perfect. I didn't use the whole stencil. But it's still way better than this. So, I'm going to move on to the eyes. Right, so now, moving on to the eyes, we're going to do the old one first. I didn't know what I was doing, to be honest. So I'm going to take a bigger version of the Revolution palette. Literally exact same, just a bit bigger. And I feel that my old, like, colour was blue. So in honour, I'm gonna do like a blue eye. And because I didn't really know how to do a cut crease, I just thought like, if I just do that, don't put any on my eyelid, that is a cut crease. Do you know what I mean? Where I don't think it was, to be honest. And then I just used to like feather it out. It used to be really messy. And I'm just going to take it down here a little. I don't think I did that. Maybe I shouldn't have done that. But yeah, that's basically it for the old side. Oh, wait. I need to finish it. Right. And now I'm going to go in with my... Where is it? My £1 eyeliner from Poundland. The Makeup Gallery Pro Eye Liquid Liner. £1. What was I expecting? And I'm just going to... I used to use that card, but I can't bother to find it, to be honest. So I'm just going to do that, and that is kind of it. So let's talk about her. She is a little bit of a mess. We both knew that, so it's fine. Meanwhile, I'm going to find my actual brushes for my eyeliner. And we are just going to start with that. So, even before I do any eye makeup now, I take my bronzer and I start mapping out the nose contour. So I go in the corner of my nose and just take it down, just like that. That starts mapping it out, starts making it easier to blend into the eye. As you can kind of see, the brows coming like unglued a little bit. That's fine, because we're going to cover it with eyeshadow. So, now, the first thing I do is take quite a flat brush. So, like this, very flat, very sharp. And get a black eyeshadow. And I just start to map where I'm going to put my eyeliner. So, that would become the wing. Then I'm just going to take it across. Oh God, some went in my eye. And that will become the actual eyeliner. And as you can see, that's already a much bigger improvement. So, I think because it's blue, I kind of have to do blue. So, we're going to go in with quite a deep, dark blue. It's not the darkest one on the palette, but it's still quite dark. And I'm just going to, like, pack it in the corner. And just, like, connect these two. Like, these two little lines. And just blend them in. So, as you can see, that's already much better than this. Like, yeah, we don't talk about her. Then I'm going to go in with the same eyeshadow that I did on this eye. And I'm going to slightly blend that over the top. Something I just realised I forgot to do. I normally put like a white like concealer above, like under here. It just helps brighten it up, but it doesn't really matter that much. So, as you can see, the blue is on. And now, the last thing, but I mostly what I do, is go in. Oh God, I don't even know what this is. But it's the Body Collection Highlighter Palette. Looks like this, a bit messy, but it's fine, it works. And I'm gonna go in with shade Frozen, which is this white one. And I'm just going to put that right up here to help brighten that up. So as you can see, that has definitely helped improve the look. So, now, what I'm going to do is throw the eyeshadow and brushes back in the box, because I'm going to grab out the white concealer that I used a little bit ago. Just gonna dab some on there and just gonna put it in the corner. And then what I'm going to do is grab my finger. It's fine, it doesn't really matter. Your face, your finger, I guess. Then I'm just going to dab and slightly blend it out. And this would help create the bigger cut crease that is very, very drag. So then I'm going to grab quite a fluffy brush. Going to go in the Frozen shade again and just kind of like push it in the corner and help make it a lot lighter. So as you can see, that is definitely an improvement. And we're not even fully done with the eye. There's a little one thing left. If I can find it, which I just have, I'm going to go in with the Revolution Dip Eyeliner. And we are just... oh my god, it is really hard to open. Oh my god, I'm going to have to go get someone to open it. I will be back. Okay, so thank you to my sister who opened this for me. But something that I recently found is to help with the eyeliner, just grab it, lift your head up, but if you look down, you get like the full eye, and you can just like kind of swipe it on the lid, which I personally think is much easier than trying to do it individually. And then while you're just doing this, focus on the lid, because you can do the eye like, there you go. So it may like bleed onto the other side, but that doesn't really matter because no one's going to come right up to you. And when your eye is open, you can't really see it. Where if you like blink, it's literally for a second, so no one would really know. And just like that, the eyes are done. Oh god, don't know what happened. But the eyes are done. And yeah, we've got a good little start to the nose contour. So I'm going to move on to the next step. Okay, so now I'm going to go back in with the MUA foundation. And I'm just going to do the lower half of my face. The foundation is now on the bottom of the face. Something that I immediately like to do, I'm only going to have to do it on half because like I didn't really do it when I first started because I didn't realise how much it would work. I like to set like under my nose. Now, we're going to go back to the contour. Starting with the old side, I'm going to go in with the liquid again. And to be honest, I didn't really know where I should put this. So I was asking like everyone and their mother, where do you put your contour? And I kind of guessed, to be honest. So like I went down, then I kind of went out. I think that's what I did. So then what I used to do, this was actually crazy, I'm not gonna lie. I used to take the darker shade and just fill it all in, which didn't really work. It really didn't work, to be honest. And then I used to take the highlighter and just go all over. Oh my god, this has actually given me PTSD. Then, something that I used to always do is take the blush, same brand, same like idea, and just take the blush and slam it there. So, now we're going to blend it, and actually I don't want to use that sponge, I want to use a different sponge, because I quite frankly don't want to mess up the other side of my face. And what basically used to happen was everything used to blend together, and you used to get this like spot on my face where it didn't look like I had anything on. And then what I used to do is get the sponge and kind of just like cut the contour like directly, which kind of worked, not gonna lie, but it didn't look good. Then I used to go down my jaw and very, very roughly contour that, which you can see. I think because it was liquid, it kind of just like disappeared into my face. So I would definitely, definitely, definitely recommend, if you're just starting drag, choose a stick because it's like firmer, much better in general. So moving on to the new side of my face, something I actually almost didn't do was finish my nose contour. If I can just find a brush. I don't know if it's the same brush, but it worked either way. So I'm just going to take my nose contour, keep going down, and then kind of like cut the bottom half of my nose. And then what I actually do is I grab the highlighter and put shade 100 in the middle and just blend it, tap it, and blend it out, which used to help make my nose look snatched. And then another little thing that I do is go back in with the same frozen shade and kind of like dip it on the end. So that's how I contour my nose, very roughly. It's harder because I'm only doing half, where if I was doing it all, it would be much, much, much easier. So now going in with the stick, just going to take it, and I go 3 times over, and this just helps kind of like blend everything and make everything look seamless. And because it's a stick, it definitely stays a lot longer. So I don't know if you can see, but that is more like defined compared to that side. But what I also do now is I grab the concealers and just use them, the 2 different shades. So this is shade 100. I just use them at little different spots on my face and just use them to help lighten the face up, because I think it's a concealer, it like stays more in my face, where like this side of my face just looks wet, where because I think it's a base product, if that makes sense. Oh my god, gotta really get up in there to like keep the crease like cut. I just like blend a little bit down. I will sort that eyeliner out for the thumbnail. So then just blend that slightly, and that is the cheek done. So I'm gonna go do the jaw, which would be this. Just roughly following my jaw and blending it all out to keep that nice and smooth. Okay, then I'm just gonna cut it back again, like the other side. And that would be the kind of like base done. Right, okay, so now moving on to baking the face. I can't actually remember if I did it for my old face, so I don't think I'm going to do it because I don't want to do it when I didn't, if that makes sense. But I definitely bake under my eye, because I think it just helps make everything a little bit lighter. So I definitely like bake my nose, bake my eye, bake that section. Then also bake down here because it just makes it a little bit more defined and a little bit lighter still. From what I remember and can see in the photos, I didn't bake my face, so we are just going. I'm feeling nice, so we're gonna do a little bit of baking. So mainly just like here, not as much as this side, but still a little. Because I don't think I didn't bake. I just think I didn't over bake. So I am gonna immediately put it on and brush it off this side because I want it to be there, but I don't want it to be heavy. So yeah, we're just gonna take that off a little. Then I think that it's done here. So we're just going to like kind of shake it off. And as you can see, it has made this part a little bit lighter, as well as the jaw, which has definitely worked. Right, okay, so moving on to powders. I start with my contour, and I found that less is more, because something that I definitely did when I first started drag was use this as contour and didn't blend it out. So it was really like heavy, where I want to create a shadow, but not like a super dark shadow. So I definitely over bronzed it, to be honest. As you can see, that is quite nice, it's quite soft. And I'm just going to do the same like down here. Just blend it up away from where I originally put it. Right, moving on to the other side. Just going to heavily put it here because I genuinely can't see it in the photo. I also think I used to cover my eyebrow with it. So yeah, that is it for bronzer. Now, moving on to powdered foundation. Oh my god, I literally didn't say what my bronzer was. It's the Rimmel London Natural Bronzer. It's been since day one, and then I use the Maybelline Super Stay 24-hour powdered foundation. And I'm just gonna put this where like my actual like skin is roughly. As you can see, that is looking so smooth. So I am just gonna go down here with it. And a little bit up here. So I don't think I did that. I don't think I actually did anything down here. But I'm gonna put it there because I'm feeling nice and I wanna kinda be fair. So now the last bit of powder is my blush. I use the MUA blush matte. Oh my god. The MUA blush matte blush powder. That's so repetitive and hard to say. So I'm just gonna go in quite pink and just kind of blend it into the contour and make it a little bit snatched. So I don't even know if I should have put it there, but still, it's fine. So now that that is all done, it's time for the lips. So I didn't actually know how to do my lips. So what I just used to do was, oh my god, doing this on half is going to be hard. So I just used to put lipstick on normally, and then slightly put a little bit more on the top lip. So this is not very drag. So now, oh my god, oh my god, why do I not say what stuff is? I can't because the label's gone. But now I take the L'Oreal Paris. I don't know if they do this anymore. I got it from my mum. Thank you very much, mother. I take the L'Oreal Paris Color Rich palette, the shade red, and I go with the darker shade, which is down here, and just over line my lip. So that's where I want my lip to start, especially for the top, and just take it down to the bottom. Oh my god, my dog's barking, so I've just got to ignore him. And then just go down, and that kind of works as a lip liner. Then I'm going to take the exact same lipstick I did for the other side. Am I? No, I think I should have made that pink. I think I should have made it pink, but I didn't. So what I am just going to do is go back into the lip palette, and I'm going to use this slightly pink shade, if you can see. It's a little bit pink, so I am just going to use that to fill in the lip, which has created a really nice, like, kind of shade. So, yeah. So, now, that definitely has helped. I am just going to neaten it up a little bit. So, a little trick is to get a concealer that is the same colour as your foundation. And just, like, neaten it up a little on both sides, because I'm feeling nice. So, there we go. Oh my god, it will dry. So I think that is it for lips. So yeah. Right, so moving on to the last little bit, which is a lash. Oh. For my old face, I didn't actually wear a lash, which is something I really regret, because I now know how much it adds to a look. So, what I do is I actually start with mascara. I don't know if I said that right, I don't think I did. And just, oh, that always happens, but it's fine. I just go on my lashes and just, like, make them darker, because it helps blend in with the actual lash. So, then what I do is I grab whatever lash I'm feeling, to be honest. I'm feeling these, they're quite, like, fluffy. And then I go in with a little bit of wig glue, mainly because I don't want to go blind. I use a little bit, and I just pop the lash on very roughly. So I hold the eyelid down, pop the lash on, and blinking definitely helps. I then just kind of like use this to push the lash on and for it to set. So that is like, yeah. So I'm gonna film the outro in a sec. Okay, she is a bit of a mess, but I've got my first ever wig. My first ever drag wig, to be honest. Because I've had wigs before, but they always, like, didn't make it, to be honest. So this was the wig I was wearing in my first ever Instagram post. So yeah, I'm not gonna glue it down because I'm literally gonna take it off. But yeah, definitely you can see the improvement. So make sure you follow me on Instagram, which just search my name and it will come up, and also TikTok. So yeah, thank you for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe to get more videos. I've got a few videos planned. You may want to see them. So thank you for watching me put on my no experience to drag makeup versus my 1 year experience to drag. Put in the comments what one you prefer. And yeah, thank you, and I hope to see you soon.